A baby bird opens its mouth, screaming for food. Its parent flies over, looks inside, and stuffs a beetle down its throat. There's just one problem. That's not its baby. It's a cuckoo chick. It hatched in this nest illegally, shoved the real eggs out overnight, and is now tricking a bird 3 times its size into feeding it, starving its real children to death without even knowing it's happening. This isn't an accident. This isn't a one-time scam. This is a strategy that's been running for millions of years, and it works so well that evolution has built entire species around doing nothing but lying. Welcome to Nature's Con Artists, and why deception, not honesty, might be one of the most powerful forces in evolution. Section 1. Lying is a survival strategy. We like to think of evolution as survival of the fittest. The strongest, fastest, smartest creatures win. But there's a quieter rule running underneath that one. Survival of the most convincing liar. Here's the logic. If you can make a predator think you're dangerous, you don't have to actually be dangerous. If you can make a prey item think you're harmless, you don't have to be fast enough to catch it. It'll walk right up to you. If you can make another animal think your baby is its baby, you don't have to spend a single calorie raising it yourself. Deception is cheap. Honesty is expensive. And evolution doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. So, anywhere a lie gets the same payoff as the truth, for less cost, evolution will eventually find it. This is why mimicry, camouflage, and fraud show up again and again, independently, across totally unrelated branches of the tree of life. Octopuses didn't learn it from orchids. Orchids didn't learn it from spiders. They all converged on the same trick because the math behind lying is universal. Let's look at the worst offenders. Section 2. The costume liars. The simplest lie in nature is, I look like something I'm not. Take the harmless mimic octopus. It can't sting, bite hard, or outrun anything. So instead, it impersonates animals that can. It flattens itself and waves 2 arms to look like a venomous lionfish. It buries 6 arms and waves 2 like a sea snake. It's been filmed doing convincing impressions of at least 15 different dangerous species, without a script, without practice, just instinct wired by millions of years of the octopuses that didn't do this got eaten. Then there's the viceroy butterfly, which for decades scientists assumed was just copying the foul-tasting monarch, a classic case of a tasty animal disguising itself as a toxic one to avoid being eaten. Turns out, the viceroy is also unpleasant to eat. So this isn't one liar borrowing credibility from a real threat. It's 2 unrelated species independently agreeing on the same warning label, because predators only have to learn one signal to avoid both. And then there's the orchid mantis, a flower that isn't a flower. It's an insect shaped and colored like a blossom, sitting completely still, waiting for actual pollinators to land on it, looking for nectar. There is no nectar. There is only the mantis. In every one of these cases, the lie isn't a side effect of evolution. It is the adaptation. The animals that lied better survived. The animals that lied worse got eaten or starved. After enough generations, you don't have liars anymore. You have species that are physically incapable of telling the truth. Section 3. The parental con. The cuckoo from the intro isn't even the most disturbing version of this. Some cuckoo chicks hatch already able to mimic the exact begging calls of the host species' real chicks, sometimes faking the sound of multiple hungry babies at once, so the parent works overtime to satisfy a brood that doesn't exist. Cowbirds do something similar in North America, and some have evolved a chilling backup plan. If a host bird removes the cowbird egg, the adult cowbirds may return and destroy the host's nest entirely. A behavior researchers call mafia behavior, because it pressures the host into accepting the fraud rather than risk retaliation. Why does this work? Because from the host parent's perspective, a hungry chick in your nest making the right sounds and the right shape is good enough evidence that it's yours. Evolution didn't give birds a way to verify parentage. It gave them a simple rule of thumb: feed what's loud and in my nest. And once a rule of thumb exists, something will eventually evolve to exploit it. That's the real lesson here. Every honest signal in nature, a call, a color, a shape, is also an opportunity. Section 4. When the lie fools a whole species, maybe the boldest liars in nature aren't trying to avoid getting eaten or get fed. They're trying to get laid. The bee orchid grows a petal that looks, feels, and even smells like a female bee. Male bees fly in, attempt to mate with the flower, get nothing, and fly off covered in pollen, which they then deliver to the next orchid they're fooled by. The flower never has to produce a drop of nectar. It runs entirely on a male bee's confusion. Even more extreme, some species of firefly females have evolved to mimic the flashing mating signal of a different firefly species. Males of that other species fly in expecting a mate. Instead, they get eaten. Scientists call these femme fatale fireflies, and yes, that's the actual term in the research. In both cases, the lie isn't defensive. It's predatory and reproductive at once. Deception used not just to survive, but to actively profit off another species' instincts. Section 5. The takeaway. Here's what ties all of this together. Lying isn't a glitch in evolution. It's not animals cheating the system. It is the system, working exactly as expected. Evolution doesn't care about truth. It doesn't reward animals for being honest, brave, or fair. It only rewards what survives and reproduces. And if a convincing lie gets you fed, gets you safe, or gets you a mate, for cheaper than the real thing, then over enough generations, lying wins. The unsettling part isn't that nature is full of liars. It's that we evolved the exact same way. Every blush, every white lie, every bluff in a poker game, every resume that's slightly more impressive than the truth, that's the same evolutionary logic, running in a different species. The cuckoo chick screaming in a stranger's nest isn't an exception to how life works. It might be the clearest example of it. If this messed with your view of nature a little, good, that's exactly the rabbit hole worth going down. There's a lot more where this came from. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next.